Hello, this is Matthew Chan. I am the author of the TurnKey Publisher series, and I'm making this video today on a subject that I get asked a lot. And one of the questions that I get asked a lot is, should I write a traditional book or should I write an ebook? And I think it's an excellent question for me to discuss today. Now, in front of me I have some notes of the pros and cons to both approaches, and I'll share my views with you. Now, let's start off with the ebook. There are many advantages to doing an ebook, which is why it gets brought up a lot. The first one is it's actually much easier to produce. You can start using Microsoft Word, type it in, make it pretty, lay it out, proofread it, edit it, and so forth. You can output it to an Adobe Acrobat PDF file. From there, if you want to, you can design a cover, although it's not required for an ebook, but a lot of people who do sell ebooks design some sort of cover that goes along with it. And once you do that, there's actually very little cost involved to sell the ebook, except for maybe the hosting service. So for all practical purposes, there's almost no distribution cost because it's a simple email or a downloadable link to your end customer. Once you set it up, it's an upfront cost, it's pretty much ready to go. So overall, there's many benefits to an ebook. It's just so much easier, so much less expensive to set up, and it's so much quicker to turn around. Also, if you need to do updates to the ebook, it's very easily to do. Now, on the traditional book side, as the one that you see here, it is easy to start writing the book. You use Microsoft just like you would on an ebook. You type it, you edit it, and so forth. Then at some point you have to output it to a layout programs like Adobe InDesign, which is what I'd recommend. Some people like Quark Express, but both of them will do the job just fine. Once you get it into InDesign or Quark Express to lay it out, then you actually have to give those files to a printer. And of course they will charge you a printing cost to print the books. Along the way, there are design issues that you have to consider. Like, for example, on this book here, you have the front cover, but you also have to design the back cover, and you also have the spine. So all of that has to be taken into consideration. Now, unless you happen to know how to do it yourself, that is a very real cost. Now, once you print the books, the actual books, it comes in a case. And I will tell you, the cases are quite heavy. There are storage costs involved, especially if you're going to get several hundred copies. And there is a very real cost to have the book being shipped to you. So once you have them shipped to you, if you decide to sell them on your own, you're going to have to pay for the shipping to go out to your customers as well. Even if you have Amazon sell it for you, you will likely still have to pay shipping to them unless you make alternative arrangements with them. The entire process of creating a traditional book is certainly a lot slower. It is much more time consuming because of all the physical components and the processes that it has to go through. So when you look at the big picture, at least up to this point, traditional books require more work, it costs more, and it takes more time. And not only that, traditional books are much less forgiving. Think about it. I've already printed several hundred of these books, and you know what? I mean, if there's a mistake, there's not much I can do about it until the next reprint. However, I want to point out the biggest difference between a traditional book and an ebook, and that is a book is more than an information delivery mechanism. A book, if marketed correctly and positioned correctly, is a symbol. And so that's why I focus a lot on working with high achievers, CEOs, entrepreneurs, and people of that sort, because they understand that a book means more to them than simply just a revenue center. Okay? I mean, yes, the books in themselves are highly profitable, but not as profitable as if you sold an ebook. However, this tangible symbol that we have, that we call a book, really represents a lot in our society, especially the affluent members of our society. For example, it represents expertise, it's a certain amount of prestige, there is a great deal of credibility, there's an assumption that you're an expert in the subject that you're writing about, and quite frankly, it's one heck of a calling card. It is far better than a resume, it is better than a simple bio, it's better than a business card. I mean, I wrote a book on publishing. I took the time to put my thoughts and ideas and concepts into this book that I call Turnkey Publishing. So this is the way I do things. Now, I think it's innovative, but obviously it's a work in progress. In any case, the point I'm trying to make is this book is a symbol. It's a symbol for far more than just simply information delivery. And of course, look at President Barack Obama. He had 2 books that told the story. And can you imagine President Barack Obama, before he became president, running for office, that says, hey, go get my ebook and read the story? That just wouldn't work. All the major politicians, major CEOs, and experts ultimately get around to writing a traditional book. They don't go the ebook road. So again, I'm not making it wrong to consider an ebook. For some of you, it might be an excellent entry point. It will get your feet wet, it'll get you writing, it will be less intimidating, and of course, for some of you, the resources, the costs involved to produce a traditional book may be somewhat daunting right now. I have found ways to lower the cost to produce in a book, but it's still, for some people, a little bit higher than they would prefer. And so in those particular cases, I would say, hey, don't stop your dreams of becoming an author. If that means you have to be an author of an ebook, I say go for it. Go ahead and get started. Then when you get enough momentum, or you get enough money, or you get enough confidence, then you can move up, what I consider moving up, to a traditional book. I hope this video has been helpful in giving you some things to think about as you decide whether or not you want to produce an ebook or a traditional book. If you decide to do the ebook, this book will still help you because it'll point you in the right direction so that you don't have to redo everything when you move from ebook to traditional book. I stand by my approach. For most professionals and high achievers and entrepreneurs, if you've got a business to build, definitely go the traditional book. But in the absence of that option, feel free to get started on the ebook. Thank you for taking the time to look at this video, and I'll see you in my next video.